Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the President is now moving to the cenotaph to light the perpetual flame. I wish to remind you once again that lighting of the flame is a The cenotaph guards are commanded by Warrant Officer Class 2, Efriye Entry Daniel. The Ghana Army Guards are Staff Sergeant Ofori Kani Patrick and Sergeant Akaide Samuel. The Ghana Navy Guard is Petty Officer Class 2, Webolo Gabriel. And the Ghana Air Force Guard is Sergeant Tupi Samson Kwame. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the inspection is over. The parade commander will now ask permission to continue with the parade. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the band to display. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Edikra symbol formed by the band in slow time is Ufru Driapa. The phrase, when you climb a good tree, you are given a push. Oyerepa, which is a symbol of encouragement, support, and cooperation, means that when individuals support worthy cause, they will receive support in return, bringing their attention to the significance of working together and providing assistance to one another. The mass band will change from slow to quick time, counter march, wheel to the center line, counter march, and perform series of evolutions to form the Jinihini Edinkra symbol. Jinihini, literally meaning ram's horns, symbolizes that given the strong have to also be humble. The symbol is a bird's eye view of two rams button heads, and the ram's horn symbolizes strength and humility through the characteristics of a ram. Called Nyamidua Edinkra symbol. The Nyamidua symbol is an Edinkra symbol that represents God's presence and protection. It is a cross-section of a tree, often a palm tree, or the top of a tree stump. It symbolizes the tree of life, purification, or blessings. The symbol represents ceremonial trees that are often cut where 3 or more branches come together. Nyamidua translates to tree of God and represents God's presence and guardianship. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are witnessing is a two-file formation forming a base camp. Shall we please give them a round of applause? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, they are dissolving the base camp with crisscrossing each other to form the number 68, which represents the 68th independence anniversary of Ghana. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, the band have formed the number 68 in static position. Shall we please give them a round of applause?
Hello, hello, hello.
Distinguished guests, shall we please give them a round of applause?
by the telly. I hope you are aware.
Okay.
Nah.
Distinguished guests, the band just performed the tune, Junior Mayuhu. That was a splendid performance by the band. Shall we please give them a round of applause?
Right! Up! Day! Ups! Stand! Out! Ice!
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now receive some poetry recitals, and that will be done by learners from Services Primary and JHS Bema Camp. The recitals are Na Ayoko Nyomoha, Mame Abba Jechua Amufa Apia, and Fedaus Baba Alele Jebuni. The title of the poem is Nation Building and National Development, written by Edward Ni Alote.
John Dramani Mahama Kemanyenya like Wonkume Nia Fanine Ache Ame Sheme Kenyame Nime Kename Kemenina Evacation Wami Banya Omane Ghana Tete Ketete Nyaha Swebo Ehiamanle Mambi Wuchi Kemambi Bibi Manoya Mankuramo Kemancha Ehia Keja Ishona Madin Amli Keteko Igbefe Noya mi fo Mankuramo mi bola Ni mancha mi bisane. Negbe yeli keboamo aje aba. Yeli keboamo aje numo. Ke amra aloding. Manoya. Mankuramo. Ke mancha. Bayano. Ghana. Wajakuma. Bango Samowo. Ghana be mi bola. Papa ife mi kemo.
Amanem penny for ya ton safra hon. Hen amanem penny for jadao. Hen on man penny na ote guadu. O kuku dem. Srem se jata in the rajat banana. John, Dramani, Mahama, Nina Bete, Chupa Pebi, Okukudu Foba, Oba Tampa, Mami, J, Nana, Opoku, Ajiman, Imbrashebe Wafun Tembwafo, Imbira Bade, Awade, what China Pinti, the woman Dinukwa, Wakweninamwa, Abema Oman Ghana, Afane Tampa, Efra, Damanti, Womayeni Nara Yada, Ofata, na Ose.
Ghana ebite gakusu brege. His Excellency
John Dramani Mahama,
Bani Ebeshun Nekagbinikole. Alo enambar kabinifuli. Kayurushine entregepa. Ghana benye kumulela nekabinifuli en soka plekama. Ghana bindu inteninene ni esikama eji inkini. Wajen komenfa nyoni hemo jukefon aje wasaten kra Ghana bango bajabo kemi manyo atu egbena bo atu egbena no ba shedu nila ba pe han mlano yeli hie miamo kenuchumo akechaman
Asasibe from Ezibanu Bobu Meni Java, Hensuku Aho, Asupiti Aho, Nehen Atinabia, Damen Dambe, Basani Naraya, the Titira, Inipa Dasenibia here, Akwan Bitede, Lori, Keteke, Wimu, Napodo.
Afe wanyamoni, wonfo wonche, ehiawo. Wahawa mahe akontabu afe pang. Wakpa mani biha. Wakbele nuchumoy. Wabi ana eko atu. Ni mishe baba. Ghana ana hetsole. Ghana ana noya. Ghana bako emamakpakpa. Nebu. Nyecha ni omanye ablawo. Yao.
A round of applause for these learners. And the trainers for the poetic trio are Miss Felicity Efuachewa Brunya and Miss Ruby Dede Ama. Tema Senior High School will give us one patriotic song titled Ayehu, composed by Yao Ousu Esiama. The choir conductor is Mr. Philip Gabla, and the directors are Mrs. Rose Eva Abrabasam and Mrs. Gladys Jael Apielete. Mr. Charles Opon Mensa is the organist. Tema Senior High School is located at Community 5 and was established on the 22nd of September 1961. Mrs. Marina is the headmistress of the school. And once again, the title of the patriotic song is Ayehu, composed by Yao Ousu Esiama. A round of applause for these learners. That was a masterclass performance with vocal precision and control. A round of applause for them as they march off the stage. Distinguished guests, shall we show them some love by giving them a round of applause? That was a great performance. Will be 3 and 6 basic schools, Ebenezer AME Zion School. 2 dances will be performed. The Kundum dance from the central region and Bawa from the northern region. Kundum is performed by people of Ahanta, and it originated in a situation of famine around 1700. Although traditionally a harvest music and dance, Kundum is performed at all social occasions now. The second dance will also be Bawa. Bawa dance originated with the Dagaba people of the Upper West region of Ghana. It is a ceremonial dance that celebrates the start and end of rainy season. Shall we give them a round of applause? That was a fantastic performance by these learners. Indeed, the performance was a testament to the power of cultural heritage, showcasing the beauty, diversity, and resilience of our Ghanaian culture. May I hand over to my co-MC, Squadron Leader Lawson. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade will now advance in review order.
Ready! Show! Day! The parade will advance in review order. By the center. Quick! March!
Shall we please rise for the national salute?
Ready! National salute. Resign! Up! Ready! Show! Day! Up!
Please be seated. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now ask permission to stand the parade at ease for the anniversary speech by the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Your Excellency, may I have your permission to stand the parade at ease for the delivery of your anniversary address. Your Excellency.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have a drum appellation And this is done to usher very important personalities to rise and address their people. The master drama is Emmanuel Vazenu, and the reciters are Perpetual Lanyon, Dorinda Ankra, Christiana Kome, and Fedaus Alelaba Ibrahim.
Mankramo, mantra. Nation development, governing and resetting. Ago, ago, okay, ago. Ago Ghana to take it. Abotwe. Siemo remo ni ehia. Mang odehe kelume. Wama hia nyelo. John Dramani Mahama. Kamambi fe. Mang kuramo pakpa. Kemanoyaba. Magrami. Kemanoyemi pakla. Enye kan David ka Goliath aka. Nimo gaya yemi aka yoku nim. Efe gojokla. Senyu muno dikapeni. Dia hemi miami. Hemi wami, seka pemi loko imahi. Kecho kake kweko hiyo, ekuo. Ekuo ke no sugba ne ehemi kata. Pense anu shishi yake. Wakemo wono ni eyawe. Ayi aha ikome. Ashe wasate. Cra cra. Cra cra. Ju kefale. Wanye. Chu ogbena. Kwamoni ahi. Balamotwe. Keji monfe mandrani. Joromo monisa joromo. Jole namo. Why again? Let you ban. Need you magbele mo hey ya. Woman here yellow. So Dramani Mahama. Bele mo nimu tumoy ni watu.
Bum.
year now. Boom. John Mama Germany 24-hour Germany for never malaga for basa ne full cake kyakto. Your Excellency Koso boy Bonanso Mbatuge Bon au finish pour bore Malaga Fobas go aso onufo Umbo
Abotwe Nyecha Omanyaba.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, the great son of Gonja land, people of Ghana salute you. You are welcome back to the big throne of Ghana. Your Excellency, you will be called Ababil by the Akans, just because you left and have been brought back by the good people of Ghana as a result of your good deeds. We wish you a comfortable stay. Mr. President, the people of Ghana and the entire world can clearly see that you have not come to sleep, nor have you come to enjoy yourself as some people thought before your coming. Your priorities, actions, and activities within the 60-day stay in the presidency tell that you have come to redeem Ghana. You have come to rebuild a new Ghana, where all Ghanaians will feel comfortable. You have come to unite Ghana, where everybody will feel belonging, irrespective of where one is coming from, irrespective of one's stature and language. Your Excellency, you are a father who does not discriminate. You share your cake equally for everybody to get his portion, no matter how small it is. You are the father that gives honey when vinegar is requested. Your Excellency, John Dramani Mahama, Ghana looks up to you as the savior. When things got scary and all were running back, when the path became bleak, you stood as hard as iron, chest out, and pushed forward fearlessly as a grandson of Gonja King Jakpa. You fear nothing but only God. Ghana is in your hands. The grandson of King Jakpa, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, respectfully rise, rise, rise. The good people of Ghana are ready, waiting to hear your sweet voice. Thank you.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I at this juncture respectfully invite the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to deliver the 68th Independence Anniversary Address.
Thank you. Kindly be seated. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency, Chairman of the Council of State and members of the Council of State, Your Excellency, President John Agyekum Kufuor, former President of the Republic of Ghana, Your Excellency, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and our special guest, Your Excellency, President Jakaya Kikwete, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Ministers of State, Honorable Members of Parliament, Nime, Name, our traditional rulers, religious leaders, our service chiefs, our troops, school children, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends of the media, and good people of Ghana. I wish you all a happy Independence Anniversary. 10 years ago, during the 58th Independence Anniversary, we implemented reforms to the annual Independence Day Parade. This reform eased the burden of thousands of school children who march, sparing them from hours of standing in the scorching sun. They formed up on the parade ground only when it was time for their march past and presidential acknowledgement. A few years ago, the previous administration also implemented reforms, deciding to rotate the hosting of Independence Day celebrations among the regions of our country. This initiative was intended to bring the celebration closer to all our people. Unfortunately, this year we are constrained not only to interrupt the celebrations rotation amongst the regions, but also to hold it on a scaled-down version here at the forecourt of the presidency instead of the traditional Black Star Square. This is necessary considering the economic crisis our nation is currently experiencing. Large-scale celebrations often come with significant logistical, security, and infrastructure costs, which strain the national budget. By reducing the scale of the event, we wish to demonstrate a commitment to fiscal responsibility and the efficient use of our limited resources. Fiscal prudence has become imperative for navigating the severe economic crisis that has recently confronted our country. The state spent 15 million Ghana cedis on last year's celebration in Koforidua and spent 13.7 million cedis on the previous year's celebration in Ho, in the Volta region. This year, we received estimates of at least 20 million Ghana cedis for holding the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous years. In a year when we are calling on all to sacrifice, including workers who have graciously accepted a base pay adjustment far below the rate of inflation, it is unconscionable to spend that kind of money on a few hours of celebration. Today's event would save us 95% of the estimated cost of the event. Nonetheless, this scaled-down celebration does not diminish the importance and significance of this occasion in any way. Ghana's independence is the single most important event in our history, as it sets out us on the path of nationhood. It is even more significant because it lit the flame of independence in sub-Saharan Africa by inspiring other countries yoked to colonial exploitation to seek independence and self-determination. This day must therefore always be commemorated, but when reality calls for a different approach, we must heed it and act accordingly. Moreover, hosting the celebration here at the presidency preserves the symbolic essence of Independence Day while demystifying the seat of government. Fellow compatriots, Independence Day celebrations serve as an opportunity for us to remember our nation's struggle for freedom and to honor the sacrifices of our forebears who led that struggle for self-rule. It reinforces our national identity, our unity and patriotism, while offering a moment for reflection on our progress and the challenges ahead. It presents an opportunity for us to recount our history, picking the lessons it teaches, and thereby forging a new path for progress and development. Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the founder of our nation, envisioned an industrialized, self-reliant Ghana, whose citizens have the highest standard of economic life and the greatest sense of self-esteem rooted in patriotism and Pan-African unity. But on February 24, 1966, a joint military and police coup d'etat shattered that dream, plunging Ghana into decades of instability and military takeovers. The verdict of history is now loud and clear. Declassified documents from the United States archives reveal that this was a coup inspired and engineered by the CIA. This remains the most regrettable and darkest moment in our nation's history. That moment sparked a series of historical events that have set us back and significantly delayed our attainment of the objectives of nationhood. We have had moments of triumph and moments of anguish. We have now blossomed into a fully fledged democracy with a healthy culture of peaceful power transfers. We must, however, remind ourselves that democratic participation transcends just the act of voting. It is fundamentally about accountability and the security needed to demand it. It is about safeguarding the people's freedoms and rights and fulfilling the promises of social economic prosperity enshrined in our founding document. Our history is complex, marked by struggle, resilience, and renewal. But through it all, one truth stands firm: the spirit endures, and our destiny remains in our own hands. While we reflect on our journey, we must also natural resource management, national review of our healthcare system, agriculture and food security, infrastructure and urban development, and the role of science, technology, and innovation. In this era of green transition, we must recognize our unique circumstance, that is a nation rich in natural resources, yet vulnerable to climate change, and we must chart a path that balances of independence. We celebrated offshore gas and oil and gas discovery. It was a moment of great optimism, promising a new era of economic transformation and attracting significant investments into Ghana's petroleum sector. However, in recent years, poor choices have stunted our prospects and left us reeling from serious challenges. This stark reality, far from dampening our spirits, must spur us on to strive for rapid development. For if our forebears, armed with far less, did not permit their backs to be broken by a repressive and exploitative colonial administration representing an imperial power, how can we, their progenies, armed with far more, despair in the face of these challenges? Rather than perpetually decrying our failures, every anniversary of our independence must present an opportunity for us to account for the legacy we're building for our next generation. We of this generation are merely custodians of this country and resources. They are entrusted to us to manage them wisely today for the generation of tomorrow. These independence anniversaries must therefore be a moment of reflection, not on what we have done for ourselves, but on how well we have stewarded national assets for those we will hand them over to in the future. Our story cannot be one of missed opportunities. It must be one of continued effort to achieve far more than we can boast of now. Posterity will not accept our failures or take them kindly. As president, I'm committed to providing the bold leadership and the clarity of vision that is needed to navigate the turbulent economic waters we are sailing in currently, while safeguarding our future. Discussions about our independence often highlight our reliance on imports, on donor aid, and IMF bailouts as signs of continued dependence. This reminder is repeated so often that while undeniably real, it risks becoming a cliché. Yet the entire efficacy of this reminder lies not in just repeating it, but in our willingness to take decisive action. Actions that will break the chain of dependency, not just the empty rhetoric of an Africa that is beyond aid. Proclaiming self-reliance while marching straight back to the donors, into the hands of the donor agencies, begging bowl in hand, is really meaningless. To break this cycle of dependence and reset our economy, my administration is formulating policies based on fiscal discipline and living within our means. We're striving to expand our economy to yield prosperity for all. And to do this, we must look within and make sure that we are raising revenue domestically. This administration is working to implement the 24-hour economy program to ensure that our economy never goes to sleep. This will allow us to create the necessary job expansion, boost productivity, increase our exports capacity and trade footprint, and also reduce our dependence on foreign aid. The US $10 billion Big Push initiative will also modernize our infrastructure. It will create jobs. It will stimulate local industry, ensuring that our development is driven from within rather than funded from outside. Agriculture remains our biggest opportunity to reduce import dependence. With over $2 billion spent annually on food imports, the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda is structured to strengthen local agribusiness and ensure food security. The Feed Ghana program will drive mass food production and stabilize food prices. At the same time, the Poultry Farm to Table initiative, otherwise referred to as Nkukong Kitenkete program, will boost domestic poultry production and processing to directly address our 95% reliance on imported poultry products. The success of these policies depend on active citizen participation, particularly from our young people. The AgriNext program will equip 30,000 young people with land, training, and agribusiness opportunities. Farmer service centers in every district will provide access to mechanization services, quality seeds, and fertilizer to boost local food production. My brothers and sisters, this is a defining moment, but policies alone, no matter how well couched and no matter how well intentioned, will not change our reality. Action will change that reality. As president, I'm taking the necessary action to create growth opportunities and enhance our economic independence. Young Ghanaians must step up to the plate, seize these opportunities, and contribute to building a self-sufficient nation. Ghana's economic future is in your hands. Fellow Ghanaians, the 1992 Constitution has provided a stable framework for governance and delivered the most extended period of constitutional democracy in our nation's history. However, like any enduring legal and political framework, it has flaws and loopholes. Recognizing the need for refinement, the late President John Evans Atta Mills initiated a constitutional review process in 2010, leading to the establishment of the Constitutional Review Commission. The previous administration of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo also undertook some constitutional review. Considering evolving national and global dynamics, I have constituted a new review committee to undertake a comprehensive and inclusive reassessment of our Constitution. This endeavor is essential as the strength of our democracy The integrity of our constitutional order and the rule of law requires continuous renewal. We must not allow weaknesses in our governance framework to fester until they threaten national stability. Instead, we must take proactive steps to reinforce the very foundation of our democracy. I therefore urge all Ghanaians to participate in this process by submitting their I do not speak as president, but as your son and brother, in whose hands you have entrusted a solemn duty. The people of Boku and other areas, it is time for lasting peace to prevail. Our children deserve to inherit a peaceful land where their dreams are nurtured, not where their nightmares are relived. They deserve to inherit a land where our markets are bustling with trade, not tension and conflict. They deserve to inherit schools that echo with learning and not melancholy. Let us not be swayed by division, mistrust, and the weight of past injuries. Let us give renewal of friendship a chance. Let us give peace a chance. This is not an invitation to simply forget the past. Far from it. It is an invitation to live above it. Fellow countrymen and women, 2 years from now, our dear nation Ghana will celebrate its 70th anniversary of independence. This is our moment in history. We have endured trials, we faced challenges, and carried the burden of our struggles, but we have never given up. Through every storm and shadow, we have kept the flame of hope alive. And now at this critical juncture, we must rise with courage, determination, and unwavering belief that a brighter future is just within our grasp. Let us reflect on the great movements that have transformed the world, the movements that have liberated us from the bonds of colonialism, and the voices that shaped our path to democratic rule. Before these, people thought it was impossible. It is not impossible for us to create a better life for our people. It was ordinary people, workers, dreamers, farmers, students, the young and the old, who refused to accept the way things were. They marched, they spoke out, they struggled, and eventually they prevailed. From African liberation movements to the fight for civil rights, from the pursuit of democracy to the battle against poverty and inequality, one lesson stands clear. When people unite with a common purpose, nothing can stand in their way. As I said before Parliament, we shall live the dreams of our forebears in our lifetime. This is not just a promise, it is a call to action. Let this be our mission to rise above fear, to silence the voices of doubt, and to harness the strength within us to create a future that is fair, that is prosperous, and that is inclusive. Let us move forward together side by side, knowing that every sacrifice we make today will prepare the way for generations yet to come. I thank you very much, my fellow countrymen and women, and I wish you all a happy Independence Day.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, That was the 68th Independence Anniversary Address by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Shall we please give him a round of applause? Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now invite the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel, to lead the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Forces Sergeant Major! To the front! Yes, sir!
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel attended Nkwanta Secondary School in the Oti region of Ghana for his ordinary level certificate and Kumasi Polytechnic for Royal Society of Arts accounting option. He holds a higher national diploma in accounting from the same institution.
Good morning, Your Excellency. May I have your permission to carry on with the year? Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency.
Chief Warrant Officer Ado Daniel was awarded with the Long Service and Good Conduct Medal when he attained 15 years in the service with unblemished record.
Remove headdress. Remove. Three heavy cheers. For the review officer, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama. Yay! 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 Hey! Yay! Jata biribo, oine. Abwa biribo, jata biribo, oine. Yeah! Right? Replace address. Replace!
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Forces Sergeant Major, Chief Warrant Officer, Ado Daniel, leading the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Your Excellencies, Your Honor, may I have your permission to follow, Your Excellency? Yes, Your Excellency.
Shall we please give him a round of applause? Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the parade commander will now ask permission to march off the colors.
Done.
Your Excellency, pray in march of the colors and the remainder of the parade. Your Excellency.
Distinguished guests, the color party will march off parade.
March off the colors.
By the center. Quick march. And direction right. Right. Go. One. To advance, left, turn. Color spot, reset, arms.
Shall we please rise for the national salute? All personnel in uniform are to pay the appropriate compliments.
Go, yay! National salute. Reset.
Please be seated. I humbly request that we remain seated as our dignitaries take leave of us. The President will shake hands with the chiefs and other dignitaries before he leaves. Your Excellencies, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the 68th Independence Day anniversary parade. We would like to express our sincere appreciation to you all for your attendance and participation. I am Squadron Leader Gabriela Lawson from the Department of Public Relations of the Ghana Armed Forces. And I'll be your MC for today's program. And my co-MC is
Cassandra Chum Ampofo, the head of Public Relations, Ghana Education Service. And it's been an honor and humbling to be your MCs for
Up.
Please, let's be seated. Thank you.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Distinguished guests, please, let's be seated. The president will depart soon. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's be seated.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen,
So they go wait, everybody goes scatter from the place.
Hey! Hey! Out! Right! Advance! Right and left! Ha! Hey! Up! Hey! Up! Process!
brought everything or almost everything
just
that
almost everything.
the previous
Yes.
parades have brought.
Yes.
But where was my Air Force? Where was the flyover?
flyover and
Where
all
was
that.
the coordination? I missed that.
There was some bit of
Region, the Tema Senior High School, the Ada Technical Institute, and the AME Zion School, all in the Greater Accra region. We saw brief display from the Ghana Armed Forces, and then the whole event wraps up beautifully. Our special guest of honor was the former president of Tanzania, Jakaya Kikwete, who joined us here at the Jubilee House. Quickly, we'll speak to some of the personalities who graced this occasion. Let's quickly speak to the Deputy Minister for Education, Honorable Clement Apak. He's been here listening in on the President's speech. Good afternoon to you, Honorable. And so the theme for this occasion is reflect, review, and reset. And certainly we'll be talking about resetting the Ghanaian education system, which you are very much involved in. What should we be expecting?
Well, first of all, let me apologize for my voice. I've been trying to recover from a sore throat. I think today, indeed, is memorable. You know, Ghana is 60. Years old. If Ghana were to be a person, Ghana would have retired. But if you look at where we are as a nation, there is no gainsaying, as the president rightly captured in his short but impactful speech, that it is time for us to reflect, review, and reset. And this is not only confined to one facet of the Ghanaian project or endeavor. So we speak about the economy, we speak about trade, we speak about agriculture, and of course we speak about education. As part of the reflection, viewing education is concerned. This is not to say that he is not moving on to implement some of his key manifesto promises. Whilst he's doing that in the area of education, We are also looking forward to what the forum is going to come up with, so that together we can move this country and resituate it to make it competitive, for our wards to be able to become competitive. Value-based education, the need for discipline, the need for commitment to nation. These are values that we must instill in our generations to come.
Thank you very much. Honorable Clement Apak is the Deputy Minister for Education. And so, as we heard in the final announcements, it's a holiday for basic school pupils and not for the whole country. I just wanted to make that correction. Quickly, we'll speak to the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosue-Jare. She's also been here. Good afternoon to you, ma'am, and welcome to GTV.
Thank you.
So certainly we heard His Excellency talk about the 24-hour economy, which is one of your flagship projects. When are we expected to see some, initial works on that?
Initial works have started already. In the G120 inauguration, we were allowed to start preparation towards the 24-hour economy. The draft policy is ready. We've engaged the private sector. On my part, I've engaged the private sector. The dialogue was very instructive on the way forward. And I think that the private sector is very ready and enthused. The beauty about this 24-hour economy in terms of industry is that it's going to help our import substitution. Most of the things that these industries are going to manufacture are things that we are importing already. And then if they're able to do more, our exports will do well. We are interested in more export, less import, so that our city will be strong. And I'm looking forward to the interesting times ahead of us.
Yesterday on the floor of Parliament, the former Minister for Information was saying that it looks like there's no clarity on what exactly the 24-hour economy is.
I think we've said this time without number. We'll continue to explain to those who have decided not to understand. I'm sure if we keep explaining to them, they will understand. Basically, it's an economy where we don't sleep, where we work around the clock. If we say we are working around the clock, it's referable to jobs that can be done 24 hours. We are not speaking about cassava farms in the night. We are talking about cassava factories in the night. We are talking about one job, 3 people. We are talking about an economy that employs more people, an economy that have nightlife, where we have security, we have safety, and business is booming. So I think that we have explained this time without number, and I don't even see any difficulty about this 24-hour economy. And all we are saying is that we are going to encourage industry to do 3 shifts. We are going to support them to do 3 shifts, and then all of us will be better for it.
Right. Finally, before I let you go, you and I were at the Economic Forum a couple of days ago, and so some are saying that 68 years after independence, we're still not finding our feet when it comes to the way forward on our economic agenda and plan. Should we be worried? Should we commend ourselves? Have we done well enough? 68 years?
Well, the reason for the National Economic Dialogue, we can do better. We can do way, way better. And the only way we can do better is when we do it together. And I think that the National Economic Dialogue gave a platform. I sat through the breakout session. I wanted to see and feel what the private sector feels. And so even as I sat through and I saw the enthusiasm and the kind of ideas they brought to bear, some of the ideas are what we have on the table, but I must admit that they also brought new dimensions to what we already know. And I think that this is good on our way forward. When we all agree to do things together, is when we all feel responsible. When we plan together, we all feel responsible for the implementation. So I think that it is good. The National Economic Dialogue has been very insightful. We are going to do this together. No one person can build this country. And so I think the things that came up, like speaking to the governor of the Bank of Ghana and the Minister for Finance, so that the lock-up funds by the banks can be used for the agribusiness value chain, is wonderful. I'm going to follow this up with the Minister for Finance and the Governor of Bank of Ghana with the private sector to see how these funds can be made available, because one of industry's major problem is availability to good funding. And so I think the dialogue was good and we are going to implement it. That's the best part.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Elizabeth Ofoswejari is the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness. Quickly before we wrap up, we'll speak to the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association, Samson Awengobit. Good afternoon to Asaki Awengobit. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon. Welcome to GTV.
Thank you.
So you listen to the President. Are you encouraged, optimistic enough that things are going to get better?
Satisfactory. President Mahama has made a very profound statement, and I think Ghanaians should look at that, his good deeds, and then follow him with all his policies to see how they implement it to the latter. President Mahama said that in 2023, the previous government spent 13 million Ghana cedis for a few hours celebration. In 2024, the previous government spent 15 million Ghana cedis for only some few hours. And in 2025, the budget he saw was 20 million, and he said no. We've already seen that things are not good. We are cutting down government appointees, cutting down his government size to only 60 ministers. Spending over 20 million is wasteful. And 5%. 5%, what it means in figures terms, it comes to like, say, 2.5 to 3 million or 4 million Ghana cedis. That is prudent enough. The government itself is ready to tighten its belt. That is why he's not asking Ghanaians to tighten our belt. And that is why I think that we should all accept. But if the government has gone to spend 20 million and come back to tell you and I that they want to tax us because things are not good, I don't think you and I will agree. So I am happy. And I think that President Mahama said that he's doing it because he thinks those monies should be pushed to productivity areas, the Akoko and Kiti, where he made emphasis of government of Ghana spending, spending $2 million to import, $2 billion, right, to import. Then spending 300 to 400 million Ghana cedis to import food. The 2 billion is frozen chicken. The 400 million is rice that we import to this country. And the government said that no, he thinks that we should push this money to this productivity area. That is the only area that can bring down stability. That is the only area that can bring down inflation. That is the only area that productivity, we can feed ourselves and have excess for surplus for export. And I think that I am very optimistic. I will go with the president with this prudent decision. I am very optimistic that they will take us far.
All right. Thank you very much, Samson Asaki Awengobit. He is the Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association. So this is how we wrap up our coverage of the 68th Independence Parade. The President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, we are told will be moving to the Volta region to commensurate with victims of tidal waves along the coast of the Volta region who are counting their loss, some of them unable to have access to decent accommodation as we speak. So he's dashed to the Volta region to see for himself what the situation is. My name is Morris Ogbete. We'll hand over to you back in the studio. Let the discussions continue.
All right. Thank you very much, Morris. So that was Morris there, wrapping up at the Jubilee House, and that comes to an end of that particular production day.